Hey everybody, so today we are going to start installing the zone lift kit on my 2006 Dodge Ram 2500 Mega Cab. As you can see, I got the truck in here in the garage, kind of tight on space being as winter's coming. I got, 3 other cars in here, but stock height, currently on an oversized tires. Once we get the lift on, I'll be looking into what size tires to replace these, as might go to 35s or 37s, not sure yet. This morning I got the zone lift kit kind of laid out a little bit more. That springs, track bar drop bracket, pitman arm drop bracket, sway bar extensions, bump stops, trailing arms, bushings, more bushings, carry bearing drop bracket, U-bolts for the rear end spacers with new bolts, all the shock sleeves, and the 2 new sets of shocks for the front and rear. So getting back to the lift, got instructions for the front. Looking at them, I just kind of going with the first part. It said take pre-measurements. It only said for the center of the wheel to the wheel arch, but I did the front and rear bumpers as well. We're gonna start in the rear just because it should be the quicker route. To do that, I'm gonna get the truck jacked up and get these jack stands set up under the frame high enough. I'm gonna end up taking the wheels off. We'll do that once I get all the suspension installed. I'll have to see what I need for airbag spacers, being I got helper airbags in the rear of my truck, and then we'll see from there. So I'm gonna kind of cut the video out here, get everything jacked up, and we'll see you when we get that far. Got the truck jacked up. I'm gonna go ahead and pop covers off. Then we'll pull the wheels. There, I got jacked up. It's not on the jack stands fully. We're gonna still support the rear end with the jack, and then we're just gonna do the work putting the spacers and the new U-bolts in with it on the jack. That way we can move it around, maybe do one side at a time. Then we can go from there. Again, I'm not too familiar with doing videos and posting online. I will do the best that I can for you guys. I may have snap-on toolbox, but I ditched the old snap-on half-inch impact from Milwaukee. Did a great job, way better than the old snap-on did. So. I usually leave the lug nuts on a little bit just in case you get it wedged in your socket. You can just wiggle the socket around, still get it off without any issues. Set those plug nuts off to the side along with the hubcap. This truck's treated me really well. I've had it for about 2 years. Put 30,000 miles on it. Currently the truck's sitting at 125,000 miles. Bought it at 95,000 miles. Alright. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do this one side at a time. And we'll see how it goes. Grab some tools and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so I got some of the tools that I needed gathered up and brought you guys a little bit in closer. Start with the shock mount and hardware. So we're gonna do first. Get it in here. Not get my creeper caught on a lot of shit. We're gonna start taking this shock hardware off. So it's a 21mm lower mount. Just go ahead and pop this off. Again, like I said, using that Milwaukee, it's a powerhouse. And just push that bolt out of there. Grab a hammer quick. Dead blow. Just finish knocking that bolt out. Alright. Again, this isn't a show truck. I live in Minnesota. Minnesota truck. Plenty of rust. It's going to rust. It's winter driven. Bought the mega cab because it's got plenty of room, haul kids around, get the job done. Get up here on the top bolt. Get that knocked out too. John's got a cage nut in the back. See if it holds or if it'll let go. And of course our factory cage didn't hold. Held enough to let it go, but we'll go ahead and put our trust wrench in here. Got that on and reset. I have cage in the back. That's what it looks like. Kind of nut, flange, catch it and cage it. Get that bolt pulled out. Just like so. Again, just OEM shocks in the back of this thing. They're still good. Plastic up for sheathing. I'll be keeping all these parts in case I ever decide to sell a truck or want to put it back. After that, instructions said to go leaf bolt, or the leaf spring bolts, U-bolts. So we get these all taken out. There's one. Just like that, the old Milwaukee's got the job done. See if we can get that nut out of there without touching it. It's a little toasty. There we go. That one's out. There's the last one. those all undone. Don't need any of this hardware anymore. Like I said, I'm going to put it all in a box, keep it around. Whether I use it or sell it, there's some guys out there that buy trucks, they don't like them being lifted, so they're always looking for OEM suspension items. We'll see if I can get the spacing I need, or if I do have to disconnect my airbag. I'm going to lower the jack, go up the back a little bit, just get clearance, and alright, sorry for that little cut in what we were doing. Wife came in, checked on me in the garage, so actually what we ran into is for my air springs here, I had 2 of the bolts that wanted to cooperate and 2 that didn't. So the square caging let go on them, so ended up getting one off, cut the other one. But now you can see their axles dropped. We're starting to separate from the springs. I'll put you guys back up and we will keep working on getting this side done. That's all free. Apparently my exhaust is loose, so that fix out what we're doing. Is good. We'll go ahead and lower the axle. I buzz that other tire off in case the axle decides to drop any further down. Alright, just got the other tire dropped off. So if the axle needs any more clearance, we can get it. Go ahead and drop this down. Well, there we have that. I guess I'll be taking my airbag out of the truck. Completely ripped those threads out of there and broken my quick lock. But now we have all the space. So the instructions say pull that plastic lining down along there, so the impact we can get that out. Obviously a northern truck, so not everything's going to cooperate quite like you would hope, unfortunately. Bar. To break it off, I'll just drill it out, finish getting everything out. Obviously not everything goes as you plan or as easy as the company says, so instructions say it's a 7-hour job. Not really going to pay attention to how long this takes me. I'm sure if everything cooperated, it could be done pretty fast. Again, working with a not brand new truck. If anything requires heat, well, I'm SOL on that because I don't have a torch here. So we make do with what we got. We just hope that the rest of this plastic alignment plug comes out with everything else. Or we'll just chisel it out afterwards. Just like that. That's out. We'll grab our parts for the rear end. Bolts, block, U-bolts, I said in the instructions that this pin may need a little dremeling because it's supposed to be a snug fit inside there. We're going to do is grab a bigger hammer. Small screwdriver and try and clear some of that rust debris out there. See if that helps us at all. Okay, now with the bigger hammer, let's see if we can love tap it in. Being a little stubborn, but again, they said a snug fit, so I would say that we got a pretty daggone tight fit there. Now look at the instructions for the installation of these blocks. It's slanted, so but being as we're dropping the truck, taller end to the back, that way point the pinion up. I'll be right back. Alright, we got that figured out. I was a dumbass, so my retard. Don't put this in the axle. This should go in here. That's going to go into the bottom of your leaf pack. So, don't do what I did. Fix this and I'll be back. Alright guys, so we had a slight dilemma. When I was doing this, I took this plug out, put the new dowel in the wrong location. My dumbass, instead of putting it up into the leaf pack, I put it into the axle. So while I had the camera off, I just kind of went ahead and did everything. As you can see, new U-bolts are in, lift blocks in. There's quite a bit of excess on the top of these U-bolts when you put them in, so I just cut those off so I could still run my socket on it, get them torqued. Like I said, I had issues with this airbag, and then when I was dropping the axle to do everything else, I ended up ripping this airbag out. So I got to figure out how I'm still going to fix that. It'd be nice to run the airbags because I don't have bump stops in this truck. So being as I kind of covered everything on the passenger side lift block install, other than putting the shock in, I'm going to go ahead and do the driver's side lift block, get that all swapped out, changed. When I get done with that, I'll come back, I'll show you guys what it looks like, then hopefully we can get started on the front. Alright, so we're back again. Going through this, got everything reinstalled. Gotta finish getting this airbag out of here. Go around back, take a look. So there you can see the new 4-inch U-bolts for the 4-inch axle, lift block for the rear end. Got new shocks. Once I get everything set up, I will go ahead and put the zip tie they supply around the base of the shock sleeve to keep that covered. I already got airbag on driver's side removed. Obviously top plate's still in here because I ripped those out. So back's done. We'll see what we can do from here. Gotta go to the front, and then we will see where we start. I did check the clearance in the rear. We were at 21 1/4 when we started. The rear end's still going to be up a little bit high because the front end's lowered, but we're at 24, I believe. I'll pull the tape measure out and double check here with my receiver. Okay, we're at 24 and a half. You can see there. So gained about, we'll see how much once the front end's lifted, but that's a 3 3¼ inch lift with 3-inch lift blocks. So next we're gonna get the front of this thing jacked up so we can start the extensive work of finishing this lift, getting the springs, arms, new bump stops, pitman arm, track bar bracket, all that fun stuff installed. I'll cut to the front end being up in the air and the front tires off. As you can see, we got the front end jacked up. We're up on jack stands. Axle's being supported by my hydraulic floor jack. It's been taking a little bit longer. So I've got the sway bar disconnected. Bushings are a little loose on that thing, so we'll have to look into replacing those sometime down the road. I got the lower shock mounting bolt out of this side. The issue I ran into was up top here. So a little bit rusted. I used penetrating oil, didn't fully penetrate. Got the nut to start backing off. and then it locked up and started spinning the shock. So next I tried to use the hex on top and hold it and spin the nut, and I'm at a standstill on that. Driver side, I got, can't really see it in there, but I got the nut off. So that one is loose. I got the lower shock mount undone. So this one's still pretty stout. So I think once I get on the passenger side, I'm going to undo the tri-bolt tower and pull the whole thing out through the top so I can try and get a hold of the sleeve because I can't get the plastic cover down. Once I get that shock undone, I might start before that, but I'm going to start on the driver's side swapping out the trailing arms. So I'm gonna shut the camera off, try and get that done just because it's kind of a pain in the ass. Been spraying the bolt nuts with penetrating oil the last couple days before I start doing this. So we'll see how well that back one comes out. Once I get those out, we'll check back in and compare the two sets of arms. I also undid the track bar. So once we get that far, we can just put the new track bar bracket, drop bracket in, and then fun part will be doing the pitman arm. All right, till then. So we're making progress. We'll go over some of the updates and what's going into it. So right here, you got the factory spring, pulled out driver's side factory spring. Here's the updated spring. It's your 5-inch lift coil spring. Taller, a little bit thicker core material. Still working on getting one of the control arms or trailing arms out of the front end, but old upper, new upper. This kit's still a short arm kit, not a long arm, but they do add a little additional length to compensate for lift. They do make a little bit longer to add for the lift. Like I said, this is the upper arm. Still gotta work on that. If we come over here, this side, I did get the shock loose. Ended up busting this plastic and getting the sleeve down and then putting the vice grip up higher in the tripod stand up here. But shock's completely loose for when I get to this side. This side, I'll grab my light. Shock is out, spring is out. Sway bar link. Sway bar is removed, well, disconnected. Like I said, that upper arm from there into the frame is removed. I got the rear lower arm done. I got the nut off down here. Unfortunately, the bolt is seized in the metal sleeve inside the bushing, so I'm working on trying to get that out with either air hammer or slowly turning it, but until I get to that point, I figured since I can get the lower arm in afterwards, I was gonna get the shock, the spring, upper arm, and all that done. I'm just gonna keep plugging along and see how it goes. I mean, it said it's a 7-hour job. If everything came apart easily, I'm sure it could be, but it's how the life goes of working on vehicles. Working on getting all the driver's side suspension all installed. Put the upper arm in. New bushings, new sleeves. Grease zerks are installed on them. As you can see, new spring, new shock are in. Just had to drop the axle pretty much Well, I had jacked down a little bit further, but she's hanging a bit just to get that spring in there. New spring and shock. Other than that, install's going pretty easy.